Hello YouTube! Today we have the first video part of art driver and the screen on the learning board. Today I will show you the most basic connection between controller and screen. We will also see the basic settings that must be set for proper operation of the display. In front of you, you see a three-phase motor, controller and screen. It is important to note that this screen is universal and can be connected to art driver controllers as well as bottle controllers via CAN protocol. Our controller model is ND84360 with line current at 190 amps and 360 amps on motor phases. Operating voltage at 84 volt rated. Now, let's start the wiring between the motor and the controller. As we learned from the previous videos, the three thick wires are motor phase wires and the remaining 6 are the Hall sensor and speed sensor output. About the screen, by touch I feel quite good quality construction. On the back you see the Bluetooth connection name CJ5C, which you will see on your phone Bluetooth connections. The thin black cable is the radio antenna. The next cable is USB port, which is for MP3 and MP5 playback and update of the software. The next two pairs you see green and brown are for the 5W speakers output. Very important to notice is that the positive power pole of the screen for some unknown reason instead of red color is black. Pay attention to this because if you connect the negative pole of the battery to the black power cable of the screen, you will destroy it. The negative power wire of the screen is the green wire. So the black negative wire from the battery must be connected to the green wire of the screen. The next wire that we will connect is the purple one. That will be connected to the speed line pin number 9 of the controller, which is output signal from the controller to the screen. On the power connection of the controller, I will connect my power supply, which will be set at 55 volts. The next step is to connect the ignition wire of the controller to the positive pole of the battery to activate the controller. On ND84360 controller, the ignition wire is the orange one. Once we have done the wiring, we must activate the controller to see if our wiring is correct. As you can hear, the controller has been activated and give us a typical error sound. And now it is time to connect the screen. As we said before, we will connect the positive pole from the ignition or the battery to the black cable of the screen. and then the negative battery terminal to the green cable of the screen. Now let's start the system to see the result. Now let's see what we have on the screen. On the top left we see the battery bar and its percentage. Here with large number it shows us the speed of the vehicle. Here we have revolution of the motor. On the lower left it shows the voltage of the battery. On the right it shows the odo of the vehicle. Here is our trip. Here we have the gear state. In the range we see distance which has left. This option will work only when the screen will be connected via CAN protocol communication to BMS of the battery. On top right is the volume of the speakers, and last one, plus, minus and mode touch buttons. By turning the motor you see that there is no response on the screen. This is because the controller simply does not communicate with the screen. So now we have to connect the communication cable together, which as we said are the violet from the screen side and the light blue from our controller side. So, after communication wire connection, as you can see on the screen we have some changes. Now it is show us the speed, gear state which has go to gear position 2, obviously because it is selected from the factory, and it give us a classic red motor icon which as usually means that we have issue with our motor. So now we must check the phases and Hall sensors of the motor to see if it has any problem. As you can see on the multimeter, the blue and green sensor have stepping on of 6V signal, and the last one yellow sensor give us 6V continuously. That means that the specific sensor is problematic, so that's why the screen shows us the specific fault. After a quick diagnosis, I found that the back of the motor, the yellow wire was broken due to axle weight. So I made a quick repair there, and as you can see the fault was disappeared. Now about those who want to know my opinion about this screen, I have to tell you that the colors are very bright. That I like very much is a quick response of the speed and revolution of the motor. Another important thing is that there is a battery voltage indication, which is very important for me to see real capacity and sag voltages. The only disadvantage is that on the screen I don't see the power meter that the controller consumes in watts. Now let's see how to set the screen. After start of the screen within 10 seconds, we press the plus and minus of the screen continuously. After that, as you see, the screen has opened a setting window. Here we have all the necessary settings that we will need. Usually the screen came from the factory with settings in Chinese language. The first thing you must do as soon as you enter the settings is to go down 7 lines, press mode continuously. The option turns red. Choose one of the two options, which is English, and press again mode with long press to save the option. Now about basic settings, let's start from the first line, which is system voltage selection. As we said before, by pressing mode continuously the number turns red. Then we select the system which we want. Again press mode continuously. In the second line we have voltage limits. the minimum voltage and the maximum voltage of our system. In the case that we have chosen a 60 volt system, our minimum voltage must be about 48 volts. In settings by factory, the screen has saved at 60 volts and maximum voltage at 84 volts. As you understand, we must change it from 480 to 672, which means 67.2 volts maximum. In the third line we have voltage calibration. This has to do with calibrating the battery voltage in case it shows minor voltage differences compared to the multimeter. The fourth line is about speed calibration, in case it shows different speeds compared to GPS measurements. The fifth line has to do with speed limit range on each gear selection. The fifth line, I don't know exactly what it is, so we will skip it. Sixth line is language. The seventh line has to do with some pressure sensors, most likely connected via wiring on the screen. And the last line has to do with activating and deactivating a remaining millage. Do not forget at the end reset the screen. So that's it for today, guys. See you in the next part of learning board on far driver and universal screen.